Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson.
I'm in 15 PCA.
And we just finished up the newest episode of the Orville, Into the Fold, and right off the bat, just another great episode.
That's another good episode, really
We're
good.
still waiting for that bad episode, and it just hasn't happened yet.
No, but it hasn't.
And just initial impressions, just if you like a good adventure survival story, this is that episode.
Yeah.
We've had these type of episodes in Next Generation and other sci-fi
Exactly.
shows, and this one goes right up there with all the other ones. Just great.
Exactly. Another thing I want to say is I know a lot of some people in the comments saying they didn't want so much social commentary. Well, you got that now in this episode 'cause you're not having it. Was I didn't want that?
Like a couple sprinkles of
But
social
it's nothing. But
it's nothing huge, and the comedy's way low.
Oh my, yeah, maybe.
Couple of jokes.
One joke was great, but the rest of it was just
kind of normal people the way they talk. Like it wasn't
exactly.
like it didn't feel like some people complain about the Orville that it's like insert joke here, and that's not didn't happen.
Oh,
once.
I think if I'm seeing a pattern for each episode, it's gradually getting less and less.
I think we're gonna get back to the funny, but this one was definitely not into the like a humor situation.
Not at all. No.
So the episode starts out. We see Dr. Finn waking up her children. So apparently she has children.
Yeah.
We didn't know that till this point. She has 2 boys.
Yeah, one would see would be in his teens, and the other one's like probably under 10.
Yeah, and and just so everyone knows, in the future, the Orville children are still children, and we have nephews. They act just like these kids.
Yeah.
They're always at each other's throats. They're always fighting, and she's telling them get ready. They're like, I don't want to go on this stupid trip, and it's like, oh my goodness, I'm having flashbacks.
They're going to a planet that's like a planet for kids, basically, to go have fun.
Disneyland, the planet.
Basically.
And one of the older sons like, oh, this is stupid. I want to do something else. And then the mom's like, come on, we go there with Dr. Finn. We're gonna have fun. And I just see so much of that in real life. We've literally done these things with our nephews.
It's so much. I know this song and dance. I've seen it before.
Like, okay, the older one doesn't want to do it. The younger one is always fighting with the older one. It's like, oh my God, it just reminds me of my own life.
I know. We don't want too much parallels, but yeah, it is.
I can feel that the realism of that's a real family. So they're getting ready and they're packing up their shuttle to go. And the Orville's in dock right now because I guess they're getting some upgrades.
Yeah, upgrades. Yeah, and they're probably retooling and all that.
Yeah, everything resupplying. Maybe some people are leaving, coming on. Normal like military type stuff.
Stuff, yeah.
So, who was she gonna go with?
Well, was she supposed to go? I don't know if it was. I don't think it was Malloy, but it was someone else. I don't remember the name. But
but then something happened, and then
Kelly was talking about
Isaac got assigned to go with her, and Isaac wants to learn more about humans.
Yeah, so he's just fascinated, especially with the family dynamic.
He's like, I want to see how a family works, and then Dr. Finn's like, because Isaac can be abrasive, because just like a machine, it's not gonna be tactful.
No.
It's gonna just tell you what it thinks.
Exactly.
And so she's like, oh geez, Isaac's gonna be on the ship, and he's gonna be Isaac the way he is. Isaac is my favorite character. I love Isaac. He's cool. I love Data. I love Isaac. I love
those are easy to like, though.
I like those characters because I love how something that isn't human wants to understand humanity. And as we grow as humans, we're becoming less human. We rely more on technology.
Well, I know for a fact, because they have a lot of like original Star Trek people on this. They actually even did Next Generation. They always said their favorite character is Data because it makes you really examine what it is to be human. Because even as us being humans, we have to think about that sometimes. So that's such a cool character to write for.
And so they're on their space shuttle and they're going in just like children in a car. They're fighting. Yeah. He has these little it's like a gamepad.
Well, even before he had it, she didn't want. And the mom, of course, didn't want him to take it, but he took it anyways.
Like kids and their dang cell phones and always playing their games. And of course, the brothers are fighting. And the mom, he won't let me do this. And and Dr. Finn's yelling back at the kids. Oh, help me! I'll go back there. All the classic stuff that still happens.
Yeah.
And then Isaac's like, you did say she's a bad parent, but he's like, your parenting style isn't working and they're not listening to you. And no one wants to hear that. Like she goes, you want to know the first thing about families? Don't tell a mother how to raise your kids, because that's one to take a mom to 11. But Isaac, there's no malice in what he's saying.
No.
It's just like observation.
That's how he is.
So they're headed there to this play planet.
Yeah.
And there's a temporal anomaly.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're gonna steer and get away from this thing. Kids are fighting, and one of the game thing gets thrown at the pad.
Yeah, the little one grabs it and he just tosses it.
Which I know all too well of kids grabbing cell phones and just throwing them.
Yeah.
Hits the thing and gets him to go into that temporal rift.
Yeah,
thingy.
it's like a
gravity tear.
Gravity tear in space, yeah, that's what it looks like.
So they're going through it and they have no idea where they're going to end up. Kind of like a wormhole type situation.
Kind of.
So they end up, what did he say, like 100 light years away?
Oh, no, 1,000 light years.
1,000 light years away from where they're supposed to be. Yeah. The whole trip messed up their transport. So they have to land somewhere. There's like something like 30 moons or something like that?
No, 70 some moons, a ton.
There's a lot of moons. And she's like, just pick one because we got to crash.
Yeah.
And they're landing.
And they found one with oxygen on there.
Yeah, so they can at least breathe.
Yeah.
And up to this point, I have to say this again, special effects look great.
Amazing.
The ships look great. The temporal anomaly thing looked great. Everything looks good.
It's a TV show, and it's amazing.
The only thing is, some people did bring this up, is some of the sets, like the inside of the transport, like the seats, they do look like they were chairs that they found around and just like put them on there because they're oddly white. They're very bright.
Yeah, but it's fine. I mean, it's a minor point.
As for like the actual like graphics,
special effects, yes,
it's just really well done. Yeah. So they're starting to crash land
and she has to do something to keep them stabilized.
Yeah, like there was something going on.
So she told the Finn, go back there and do it. And she's trying to work on it.
Yeah, she's working on it. It's like really, really hard to pull. She pulls it. She straps herself in, and they're plummeting to the planet.
Yeah, and they end up hitting a tip of the mountain.
And it tears the ship in two.
And her back part gets ripped off, so she gets thrown several hundred kilometers away from
wherever they landed.
Yeah.
They crash land, and they're like trying to contact each other, but everything's all screwed up on the ship. And one of her boys, the oldest boy, like dislocated his knee.
Yeah, really bad.
Then I just like, I got to repair you. He just grabs it and pops it back in place.
They didn't give him no warning or anything. He screams like a loud scream.
Because could you imagine? Just let me just get this, and just pops it back in place. I'm like, oh my goodness.
And then at the end she goes, that feels better. Yeah, I said because he popped it back in place. Yeah. But that initial, you didn't give him time to even think about it.
He scanned it. Okay, dislocation. Pop it back in.
Right? That was funny.
And then Isaac's like, okay, we have to try to find your mother. And of course, the youngest son's like freaking out. Yeah. And because he kind of knows it's kind of all his fault.
Yeah.
But if the older brother would have been freaking nice, it never would have happened. But again, they're super scared. They know what's going on. Of course, Isaac, the robot's like, doesn't basically tell them to shut up. But he's kind of like, stay here. Gives the oldest one basically the phaser.
Because he shouldn't be too far. Yeah, give him the cover of the phaser. So.
And then he goes to try to find Dr. Finn.
Yeah.
And because her section of the ship got torn and thrown over.
Yeah. And someone takes her too. You see that too.
She's all knocked out and someone drags her away from the thing. So we don't know what's going on
with her, yeah.
And then we have, of course, Isaac can't find her. Mm-hmm. So he comes back and basically tells the boys, hey, your mom we don't know where she's at. And of course, kids are all worried. And I forgot what their fuel source is called. It's the lithium crystals, but they're not the lithium crystals. And they're like
crystal like stuff,
so they're like, if we can boost this, get enough of that energy, we can at least do a signal, try to find your mom. And then that's when the son brings up, I've in my classes we talked about this kind of stuff exists on a lot of planets.
Yeah.
Maybe if we find some here, we can get it.
Yeah. And then I was like, I don't know because I can't. So my scanning range isn't far. Goes, well, just do that then. I mean,
just do what you can.
You do what you can. And then he ends up finding some.
And then he says, you're not basically not as stupid as I thought you were. And it's like, thanks, Isaac, you're such a nice guy.
That's how he is.
And then we kind of jump back to the Orville, and they're like doing the repairs and stuff, and listen to Barry Manilow. It's kind of like depressing kind of music.
Yeah, no, and like Lamar's complaining like, what's this stupid?
Can we listen to something else a little sad? And then even though he's like, he was a genius of his time.
That's what Mercer said.
Yeah, so
in fact, the slime guy's there too.
Yeah, because he works down in engineering. Yeah. And then that's when they get that thing of like, she never checked
arrived,
in.
Yeah.
So like, have you tried to hail her or anything? We can't find her. And then even Yem Kip in the early episodes was kind of hitting on Dr. Finn. Then he's like, is she okay? Like,
no, he said Claire. Her real name. Yeah, Claire.
Yeah.
Is Claire okay?
Yeah. So he actually has general concern for her. He actually does care about her. So it's not just him trying to, quote unquote, get lucky. He actually maybe does care about her.
With a blob, but whatever. We'll go with it.
He's a cool guy. That kind of goes back to her children. I'm thinking, what about her father? And I guess in Orville times, I guess you can just have kids with yourself.
Yeah, artificial. That's exactly. And he asked none of your business, but I'm assuming that's what she did. She said there is no father, so that's what it must be.
Yeah, so it's not like a father and divorce, nothing like that. There literally was never a father. No. So I'm assuming
she just wanted to be a mom.
I guess kind of like artificial insemination, but I don't know the whole process.
Yeah, some kind of way. Who knows? But that's the good.
Yeah. So again, like you said, the social commentary. That was a little bit of that, but. It's
minor.
It's so minor. Yeah. So they're like, we got to find out. Let's go to our last known coordinates. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, we got our navigational system isn't hooked up. And then he's like, Lamar is like, we'll do it the old way. We use star charts. And then Lamar's like, jeez.
Don't get lost, man. Don't get us lost, dude. He's all.
So I think that's kind of cool that Mercer made the call. Hey, we're not 100%, but you know what? Our crewmates are missing. We're going to go find them.
Yeah.
He made that because he cares about his crew.
Yeah.
That's a cool captain type thing to do. And again, there's like little to no jokes so far.
No.
Except for like little things about Barry Manilow and stuff like that, but that's just like regular conversation.
Yeah.
So all those people that complained about the humor in the show, you'll really love this episode because it's very light.
And again, I don't mind it because it's good enough. It doesn't need that. It really doesn't.
So we get back to the planet and we see Dr. Finn wakes up in like looks like a bunker type cell. And she's like where am I? Help me, somebody. Then I guess the guy who's rescued her, brings her food and stuff.
It looks like oatmeal type stuff.
Yeah, it's like gruel. And he's kind of seems like a bad guy. Kind of seems like, but he did save her and he's not hurting her or anything.
And he's just telling her to,
eat this. This food is scarce here. You can have some of this. And then she's like, well, I need to find my children. And then he's just being very dismissive. So it's like, is this guy a kidnapper? Is he a bad guy? Is he a good guy? He just seems like a weird guy.
Have you ever seen the second movie to Cloverfield? That remind me of. Not so dark, but that kind of like, okay, this guy's a little off.
Was it Cloverfield Lane?
Cloverfield Lane, Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, that one. Very similar where...
Tension.
This guy, you kind of have to trust him because he's holding all the cards.
Yeah.
And you kind of are the prisoner.
Yeah, but you kind of don't want to.
Yeah. So she's stuck in her little cell and she's thinking, oh, geez, I gotta get to my kids. Yeah. Because she's a mom. Like, I don't know where my boys are. They could be dead. They could be hurt. And we kind of go back to Isaac and the children. And I guess that's when they get like attacked by one of the inhabitants.
Oh, it was actually very scary because it was just two little boys. And also turns, the kid just
because he's aiming at the window. Oh, I have a gun. Get away from here. And then it turns around and then the guy's there. And it's like, I'm like, oh, dang, that kind of scared me.
Yeah, that was kind of scary.
And he looks all sickly. Yeah. They have like pus pockets. Almost, I want to say, they're not they're not zombies or mutants, but they're getting close.
They're getting to that area.
They shoot him and they stop him. Isaac comes back and shoots the guy. And then he's looking at him like, oh, we have to get moving now. We can't stay here. And they start their little journey and they're going along.
Yeah.
And that's when you kind of get this whole, this is high stakes, serious stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's one thing I really noticed early on in this episode. Like, wow, this is a real survival adventure episode where people could die. This isn't just some kind of silly concept or whatever. This is actually like if you really got stuck on a planet.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's funny because Isaac is the best person and the worst person at the same time to have on this kind of mission. Super strong. He hits all his shots. Yeah. He's very knowledgeable, but he's also not very. He didn't know no bedside manner. These are children.
That's fine, if he was with other adults.
Yeah,
Orville, but we're not talking.
We're talking
adults.
Like a 12, 13-year-old and like a 9-year-old.
9-year-old, yeah.
So they need, and of course they're scared. And then they're making their way. They're basically tracking their way through there. And then they're, of course, as kids, the next morning they're fighting over that stupid game. Oh, it's my turn. You don't get a turn. So Isaac just grabs it, throws it there, and blows it up. We'll never talk about the game again.
Yeah, there you go. We're not talking about it ever again.
Oh, that was so funny. That solved the problem.
And he goes, and then the other one's like, well, I'm going to be bored now. Well, if you want, why don't you help me look for these deposits, okay? Instead of being bored,
be useful.
Yeah.
This is not a normal situation. This isn't some, nature trek. We're trying to survive here.
Exactly.
And and it was so cool to see the Isaac in his interactions with the children.
Yeah.
Because it's so foreign to his race because they don't have children. No. You're just,
Yeah, a master computer makes everyone apparently. So yeah.
So they're making their journey and it cuts back between Dr. Finn and then Isaac's group. Yeah. So Finn starts to see that she can kind of open a little side panel.
Yeah, she found like a little
like a sieve. Yeah, so she can kind of work her way through. And she's trying to break out, and then the guy keeps coming back in. Oh, you haven't eaten your food yet. And she's like, I'm not hungry or whatever. And then he kind of gets up in her face.
Yeah, so he's like,
and ooh, this guy is kind of a bad guy.
I better eat this food. I better just drink it, whatever.
Yeah, and then she starts eating it a little bit, and then she's like, well, my boys, and he kind of explains how on this planet, I guess there was some type of war, and they poisoned the water supply.
Well, this biological weapon, not bioweapon.
See, that's another little social commentary about bioweapons, but it's very light.
Yeah.
So I guess the people out there are like cannibal monsters.
The ones that survived, and they killed almost the whole planet.
And he was like the crazy survivalist guy.
So he didn't drink any of that.
Think doomsday prepper type people, where they had all their supplies and everything, and I guess it worked out in his favor because he says he has enough food
for years
and water, and he has like weapons, and he has like a gun on him. And then Dr. Finn started thinking, well, she's smart. So she's like, okay, I got to start playing on this guy a little bit. And just to kind of win his favor. So she eats the food a little bit, tries to talk to him.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back to Isaac and them, and they get to a part where there's, once we learn that the water supply is poisoned.
The very next scene,
they had to cross like a river. I'm like, oh, God, don't let the kids drink the water or something. They're crossing the river. The youngest son slips and falls into the river.
Oh, right there, he's going to,
so he gets a little bit in his mouth and stuff. Like, oh, no, he's going to get that poison. It's going to make him
sick. Yeah.
So they're like, and of course, I wish Isaac wouldn't have been able to, like, I guess if he wasn't scanning for it, he wouldn't have seen it.
But he doesn't know, though. Yeah. You can't do what you don't know.
So then they start, and then they're still doing their journey. They're walking along.
And then, like, 3 of the mutant-type creatures, people came up to him, and he just took care of them like that.
Yeah, Isaac's freaking, crowd, boom, 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 boom. Like, he just gets them all. And then he's just like, and he kind of scans them because they look sickly.
Yeah.
They have some type of disease. Like, but let's just keep moving.
Yeah.
And of course, it's that whole they're just on stun. They're not being killed or whatever. But they have like literally every right to kill these people.
Yeah.
But they still don't do it. They still
They
just
hold
stun
it to
them.
the beliefs. Yeah.
Yeah, they value human life. They're not going to kill anyone unless they have to. It'd have been cool if Isaac got into some hand to hand. But it was all
he
just
would have tossed him around.
Yeah, because he's super strong.
Yeah.
So they just shoots them, and they keep moving along. And we get back to the Orville, and they see, we're
the Iron Trail.
where it was last. Like, there was this temporal anomaly. Yeah. Maybe they fell through that. That's where the last place they were.
That sliver. Yeah.
It's like, okay, bring us through. And then they're like, there's a joke. That's one of the joke with the.
I don't know if we can say it.
Yeah, no, it's just funny because technically it's not a dirty word.
No.
He's like, back in engineering academy, we called those glory holes. And then Mercer's like, no one called it that but you. You're the only person.
You're an idiot, Malloy.
You're an idiot. You're the only person who called it that.
They're going into it, and oh my goodness.
And then Porter's like, now entering the glory hole. And he has him that deadpan.
No, he's like, no, it's not what it is. Like, no what? Mercer's like, forget it. I'm not going to say anymore.
It's funny because you can tell Boris is trying to like, I'll use their word for it to feel more like we're on a team. And he just says that deadpan delivery, entering the glory hole. Just such a stupid.
And then we're looking, that's not what you know what, forget it. Who cares? Just let's go.
So they're going through it, and it's kind of damaging the Orville.
Yeah, a little bit.
They get through it, and they're like, there's some hull damage here and there and everything. They're like, well, they do a scan. They can't find the ship. They're like, well, maybe they had to land somewhere because if it damaged the Orville.
Oh, a little bit. Can imagine a
small transport.
Ship, yeah.
So they're like, this place has like 80 moons. Like, well, let's start at the first one and keep
scanning,
moving.
Yeah.
We go back to Dr. Finn, and she came up with the kind of a genius idea to kind of trick this guy. She cuts herself. I'm like, oh, geez, that looked like that hurt.
That hurt, but then I also thought to myself, she's a doctor. She knows how to cut herself in a certain way where it won't
So she cuts herself, and then she's like, help me. He comes in, what happened? I slipped and fell, and I cut myself, and he's like, I'll bandage you up. She's like, no, I need to disinfect it. There's
antibiotics,
there's medical supplies on my ship. If you go get it, I won't get an infection. And if I die, then you'll be all alone again.
Yeah,
so
she knew.
She kind of played into his, like, that's the reason why he's keeping her around. Yeah. So he has, like, someone to talk to. Mm-hmm. And he's like, okay, I'll go. And then that's her time to kind of try to sneak out.
Yeah.
She gets that panel off, and then she realizes they're like, what? 40 stories up.
Well, I think she might have realized that a little bit before.
She looked out the window, like the little area, but she didn't actually go out.
It's funny because we forgot a whole part of that. Is that before they went to bed, Isaac and the kids, they want him to tell a bedtime story. And he tells a story what just happened to him.
Yeah.
When might be Larry dead? The end. Okay, thanks, Isaac. And he goes, don't tell us Peter Cottontail, whatever. He goes, okay, Miss Judge. And then the littlest one will tell him Mom's voice. And the other one's like, that's kind of creepy, but he's a little kid, so he does. And then juxtaposition when they say that, it just starts showing Finn trying to get out. Oh, when you got out of the hole, because she's trying to get out the thing. Yeah. It's a parallel.
For anyone who remembers that story, basically the mom's telling the boys, you can go play, but don't go near Mr. McGregor's farm. Yeah. Because that's where your father had an accident, and then the Mrs. McGregor cooked them into a pie.
And as soon as she's saying a Finn's opening, and all of a sudden opens it up, and you see she's in top of a big building, like it's a big apartment.
Yeah, it's like an apartment complex.
But it's really high. Well, she can't. She'll fall to her death. So that's why I want to bring that because that was before.
Yeah, and it kind of played. It has a really good.
Just the transition.
Yeah, the transition between telling a little kid story and how it's kind of true here. She does need to be careful.
Yeah.
Because what if I was thinking, oh goodness, please don't let him come back right away.
Yeah.
Because she would get caught red-handed.
Oh yeah.
So she's like, she gets to the other side of where her cell was.
Oh yeah, we're going back to what we were talking about before. Yeah.
Yeah, she gets back to the other side of her cell when she broke out of her little room, and she's frantically looking around like for her communicator.
Yeah, because she goes from one end to the other, whole thing, and that's like sliding doors. So this is an apartment complex, obviously.
Yeah, she just climbs onto the balcony.
Balcony goes in.
So I was hoping she was going to try to climb down.
Oh, that's what I was worried. I'm glad she didn't.
Shane, this ain't Assassin's Creed. You're not going to be able to get down there.
You're going to survive that.
She finds her communicator.
She gets hold of Isaac.
And she's like, oh, thank God. Or where's my boys? Mm-hmm. And then, of course, her son's getting sick from when he fell into the water, starting to get those little marks in his face. And Isaac's like, your sons are alive, but your youngest one is starting to...
A bioweapon from the water.
Yeah, he has a virus that he got from the waterborne virus. Huh. And then she's thinking, dang, it's that same one that guy told me about. She's like trying to talk to her boy, oh, baby, it's going to be okay. Just keep traveling with Isaac. He'll protect you and everything. It's kind of like that mom that can't get to her kids.
Yep.
That's like real hard. You can feel that she's like, I need to get to him.
Yeah.
So she gets back. The guy comes back with the medical supplies, but she's hiding behind the door, and she straight up guts him with the knife.
Oh yeah, straight up like
like, dang, Dr. Finn, do no harm my butt. she freaking stabs.
And they go into a big old fight, and they start scrambling, and she gets a hold of his gun, and they got like regular looking guns.
Yeah, it's like a regular look kind of like a semi-automatic gun, and she shoots him, kills him.
Well, she had to.
It's her boys, and this guy wasn't going to let her go, and she had to kill that guy.
I'm sorry that you're lonely, but it's more important that I get to my wife, especially one sick. I can't play.
So it's funny because she did need her medical supplies, so she actually did grab her medical supplies off of him, and then she's making her way towards her boys.
And there's a great shot they show before.
Oh yeah, there's so the when they show like the moon and the stars and everything, it looks great.
Yeah, I even commented. It reminded me of something like a Frank Rosetta painting. That's what it looked like.
It's very cool.
Very cool outer space,
Yeah, because this place has tons of moons, so you see all these celestial bodies and moons.
Very
and stars.
foreign, yeah. It's very cool.
So she's trying to make her way back, and she runs into some more of these mutant people. She just guns them down because you got to do what you got to do. And she takes a blood sample from one of them.
So she can get to try to make a cure for it,
or at least something to slow down the thing, or
something.
So she finally finds a way back to the shuttle because that's where Isaac and the boys.
Yes, they told her to meet her.
We meet her back at their crash line site. She's her oldest son, and then they're like, "Oh, I found you. It's so great." And you have that little kind of reunion moment. And Isaac,
the son, when he was on the computer, the older one said, "I'm sorry for saying."
Yeah, because he's being such a freaking little idiot.
And then he apologized.
Yeah, because even he thought, wow, the last thing I told my mom was I didn't want to go on this stupid thing, and I called her. She says she sucks.
Yeah.
Then he's like, "Oh my goodness, I may never see my mom again."
Yeah, exactly.
And you get a lot of that family dynamic, and then Isaac is like a total outsider to a way how a family works, because even he told him, he's like, "Oh, you resent your mother, you hate her,"
and then he even played the voice of what exactly he said too, which is
so funny. It was like, see how you sounded when you speak to your mom that way. And then he's like, "No, I love my mom." Then he's like confused, like, "Well, if you love your mom, why do you treat her like crap then?"
Exactly.
But kids are kids, and they don't like to listen, especially on that teenager age. Oh man, horrible. Kids are awful. Yeah. So she sees her son, and he's super sick, and then she's scanning him, and she's like, "Well, let's get those." And then he puts the crystals in the thing, and he's trying to contact the Orville. And the ship powers up, and then it powers down.
So he only got like one little second of communication.
Like a small little
boop, boop.
A little beacon.
And it wasn't pure enough.
And so Dr. Finn scans her son, saying, "I can make an antidote, I can make a cure, but I need to be on the Orville.
Yeah, I need on my medical facility.
I need my whole facility to do this." And then, like, how long is it before the Orville finds us? He's like, "Well, if they go by normal space, it's going to be weeks." And then she's like, "Isaac, my son will die in days. Yeah. So I'm not going to sit here and watch my son just die in front of me." And it's so sad. And there's real heart there. It's like, this is a real mom looking at her, and she's a doctor. "I can cure you. I don't have the tools."
And in a scene earlier, and this kind of goes probably we're talking about, the little boy got first scared. He grabbed his hand and like, "Don't grab my hand, I need it." And the elder son's like, "Just let him hold
your hand." And then Isaac.
So Isaac remembered that. So when she was emotional like that, Isaac grabbed her hand right there. Yeah. He looked at her, kind of a reassuring way. It was kind of like.
And then Isaac, I'll go stand watch or whatever. And then it's kind of that. Isaac's starting to understand what it is to be human.
Yeah.
There is irrational things, and there's families, and but on paper it makes no sense.
Yeah.
These kids are jerks. They don't listen to you. Why are you guys even a family? But you're a family because you're a family.
I'm kind of just seeing when Isaac gets his report back to his people, how they're going to take what he tells them. See, that's going to be interesting down the line, but I just didn't do with this episode, but I'm just kind of curious what he's going to say and what they're going to do.
And basically Dr. Finn is like crying.
Oh, yeah.
Because she can literally going to watch your son die.
Yeah.
That's real emotion. And then make the parallels between this and Discovery. Discovery hasn't even come close to this type of heart. No. Not in a million light years has come close to this.
It's fake and artificial and phony.
And they had scenes where Sarek was dying and stuff like that, but he didn't feel anything.
No.
I didn't feel anything. This I felt for Dr.
And I
Finn.
know Sarek, and I like the character, but not in that show I don't.
No. And it's just like, wow, the heart is here. The adventure, the survival, everything is here. So they're out there, and, Isaac is standing watch, and then they get the Orville gets that blip. That
for
signal.
A second.
And Mercer's like, "Go there, scan
Kaylin
it."
goes, "It could be just background and noise, but you know what? We're going to go for it. Yeah, you know what? We got no other choice."
They scan it, they see debris, and they see 3 life forms and an artificial life form. Oh, boom, that's them. Prep would show, because they don't have transport technology on grand scale.
No.
They just have that one little personal one.
Now we don't know if it's there or not there, but that's another story.
So they're like, prepare shuttle, get down there and get him.
We also say he goes, there were several dozen people surrounding him, so they're going to...
Yeah, like those mutant people are starting to... And then it's cool. Of course, Isaac being... Freaking Isaac, he's just blam blam blam. He's just.
But he goes, "I need some help though, because there's a lot of.
They're gonna overrun me." And then Dr. Finn's gonna get a gun, and then the older son's like, "No, Mom, let me go out there. You stay with my brother. You stay with the brother, and then I'll go out there and fight." And it's kind of like, okay, it looks like the older brother's taking responsibility.
Yeah, here's a gun. Remember, only use stun.
Yeah, use stun. Have a wide stance. Get it like the mom's giving them like little mini combat training.
Just because they're savages and they kill us, I mean, we're gonna do the same if we don't have to. So go out there. And they did.
In the do or die situation, they're still willing to stand by the morals and the fundamentals of
the Union.
Of the Union. Unlike in other shows where they just kind of throw everything into the trash, there's no standards. So even in this situation, I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah.
And he goes out there and they're shooting the guys and he's missing his shots. And then I just like, concentrate, giving him like tips and pointers. And when he hits one of the guys, like, oh, good shot. So you kind of see like, I think they kind of see Isaac as like an uncle, kind of like that cool older uncle. They're starting to get that trust with him.
And then as they get really too close, here comes the Orville, the transport ship, and they just start shooting. So they just knock them out.
So it's like the cavalry arrived. And it was a cool effect. You actually saw when the lasers hit the ground, like sparks and stuff flew up. Yeah. Again, just amazing. The special effects, I know there's a lot of CGI, but they try to use real effects too. Real pyrotechnics.
Yeah, that's what makes it cool.
So all the bad guys, all those guys scatter, and then you see the transports in there, and it has like a spotlight. Yeah. So it's kind of that really cool effect because it's shot from way above.
I remember in Star Trek 5, I think it had something like that too with Kirk. It's like, see, that's just a cool effect with a light.
And of course, Finn is beyond happy. I get back to Orville, I can save my son.
Yeah.
They get back up on the transport. And you see the son's in bed. He doesn't have any of those pop marks or anything.
Yeah, he's still in his system, but he'll need a couple days.
Yeah, the toxins will get through his system. Yeah. And then, Mercer's there with Dr. Finn and her son. He's like, I got my debrief mission from Isaac, but I haven't received yours yet. I'm wondering if she's going to be like, yeah, I had to kill a couple of people.
Well, yeah, it's survival.
She had to.
Then
she's like, well, first things first, I got to take care of some stuff. And then Isaac's working down the engineering room. And she goes there to kind of like thank him. Thank you for protecting my boss.
Yeah, first she goes, my son wants to see you again, Yeah, that's weird, but okay, I'll go see him.
And then, thank you for, you saved my family.
Yeah.
And then, Isaac's like, well, your kids they're disrespectful. It's all these terrible, like, the only bad things, like, but I've grown quite fond of them.
And she goes, welcome to the family.
Yeah, welcome to the fold, in the episode. Yeah. And that's what a family is. Yeah, kids are horrible and terrible, but you just love them because you realize they're just kids. Yeah, exactly. And they're going to grow up, and you got to do your best. You can't, especially when just two boys around the same age and you're just a mom. Yeah. That's got to be tough.
Yeah. And it's funny, I know some people now, we've talked about the whole episode, wanted a commentary, well, she's a single parent, but in that society, you can be a single parent. You have all the energy you want, all the food, all the clothing. There's no need for money. So
yeah, she works on so there is that social commentary, but it's not the same thing.
It's muted. It's definitely kind of, down in the thing. It's not that bad.
I just overall, just another great episode. Yeah. I loved it. It was good fun action, real drama, real suspense.
Yeah. Man, if we ever did a top 10 list of our favorite episodes, it'd be tough. Even top... You could do every episode. It's going to be hard. I mean, it's incredible.
Every episode has been good to excellent.
Yeah.
Even the worst episode is still a good episode.
And Mountain Time's better than anything Discovery's done.
Oh, man. We're going to do a top 10 Discovery in that series. Do
I have to?
Yeah, it'd be funny, though, just to say.
Okay, this one's a 4. This one's a 4.1. This one's a 4.2. Out of 10, mind you.
So this was a showcase episode for Dr. Finn.
Yeah.
What we learned about her. She loves her family.
Yeah.
She's a single mom.
Yeah.
She has a couple of boys that are little again.
Like kids like today.
Just like today, because we have nephews that are one's 14 and one is turning 8, and they act exactly like these two kids.
They do.
Oh, this is my game. This is my turn, and just always kind of in each other's faces. It's exactly like this.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, I'm glad the older son stepped up and said, "No, Mom, I'll go out there and defend us." And I'm like, "Yeah, I get kind of become a little bit of a young man now.
Yeah.
You're not a boy anymore. You're a young man, and you got to start taking that role of protecting your family."
Yep.
And that was a cool scene. I love that scene. That's probably my favorite scene.
That was.
And because then the mom kind of gives him a little mini combat lesson. Wide stance, hold your aim, concentrate, and pull the trigger. Keep it on safe.
That was cool.
And and got some growth for Isaac. So this is like a Isaac showcase episode and a Dr. Finn showcase episode. And I still love Isaac. He's still my favorite character. I just love him.
I'm probably more a Boris guy, but it's funny.
It's cool to see how he's learning more about being human and what it is, and he's starting to appreciate the human condition.
There's something that I thought about too, and I'm thinking about it. And Kelly's the one said that in the episode where she goes, "Okay, we're going to send scientists over there to try to see if they want to cure, and they want to take it, we'll cure them. If not, well then we're going to leave." Here's the funny thing is. Are they, I know I use a parallel because I don't know what they call it quite yet in Orville. I've seen 8 episodes. Are they a pre-warp civilization? They just do that? They go, we're going to give you technology. I guess they must have had technology, I'm assuming. Because why would they help them?
Even then, if it's just something they can just redistribute into their water supply.
But they're asking, though.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if they're going to get that permission. It'd be cool to see that. But again, we don't even know how...
Their protocols are, so
so what's the, because they have to make contact with someone because those mutant people aren't going to want to talk to them.
No. That's what I'm saying. See, Because in the episode prior, that was like a society like ours are, except they're screwed up where everyone does a majority vote. And they won't even talk to them. So this society's way more unadvanced compared to them.
I'm guessing since it was like an ecological war disaster, maybe there's different protocols.
Maybe, perhaps.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, I hope those people get help. Because again, I think the disease made them go crazy. Yeah. So I don't know if they want to be crazy.
Oh, that and the fact they're probably starving because they say all the food supply's gone. So we got to start eating people.
So I'm trying. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the guy did mention they became like cannibals. I wonder how many more survivors there are.
Who knows?
Yeah, the guy said,
a planet I want to know. Not as much as the last planet they went to, but I still want to know what happened. Did they get cured? I mean...
Yeah, I know. I kind of want them to get help, because I want everyone to get help.
Yeah, exactly.
And I kind of want maybe to see some more of her kids, like, around the thing, like, where Isaac is, like, this cool robot guy.
I want to see her kids play with Boris's boy. That would be
we haven't
fun.
seen Boris's boy.
Maybe, but I don't know how fast they grow, so
yeah,
who knows?
So still might be, like, a little baby. Yeah. But again, I can't say enough about the Orville. I'm glad it got renewed for another season. 8 great episodes, or 7 or 8 great episodes.
I think there's only like another 5 or 6 left, which is really a shame. So that tells you Fox had no faith in the show, obviously, because they would have made more episodes for the first season.
And I'm trying to think, what bad parts of the episode what I didn't like. I don't know. I kind of like this one through and through.
There's even the episode that I loved last week, the little point, but they didn't get how come they didn't send the information to the union? This one, there was nothing I could say. Nothing really. I'm being honest.
I'm trying to think anything. It all worked out really well. It showed, she did talk about valuing life and everything, but she did kill those other 2 people because they were going to kill her.
Yeah.
And she didn't really. I guess because she had a regular gun when she shot that other guy, so that dude's dead.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. It's either, but at that point, if she had a union gun, she wouldn't have done that. Yeah. But she didn't have a union laser gun. She had their revolving guns.
Yeah, she had like a regular pistol with bullets and stuff. So, man, highly recommend this episode. It's right up there. It's top 3 for me right now.
It's really good, too.
Without actually going through and re-examining each episode, I think Into the Fold is a top 3 episode.
It's, for me, definitely 3 or 5. It's up there. It's definitely up there.
I think I pretty much covered everything I want to say. Do you have anything else?
I'm trying to think of stuff. I thought it was also interesting, like, the fact that, like, after when they were going to crash on the planet, how it just tore the ship apart and it just was.
The graphics are great. Like when they hit the top of that mountain and you saw the dust kick up and they ripped apart.
And boom! I'm like, oh crap! There goes Miss Dr. Finn. I'm like, ugh.
See you later, Doc.
And the little kids are like, see you later, Doc. They're like, oh, that's their mom,
Yeah, it's visceral. There was the drama was real. The tension felt real.
And you care about the characters. Because if you didn't care about the characters, you wouldn't care what happened.
I care what happens to Dr. Finn. I care what happens to Isaac.
Yeah, I know we've probably said this before. Maybe I have, and definitely Crimson probably has too. Is that when that security chief died in Discovery, I could care less. I could care less. She was stupid how she died, and I didn't care.
She basically killed herself.
Yeah, she's an idiot.
Check out that episode how she died in the dumbest way possible. And I remember I was even telling you during this episode, I'm like, oh, they can't kill some of these kids. They cannot let one of these boys die. I'm like, no, I'm so good. Everyone survived.
I mean, how can the Crow kids survive and not them? Okay, they don't kill kids on the show. Okay?
Yeah, they can't die. But the drama was there.
But you almost felt like, could they? Yeah. But I knew they weren't going to.
And I kind of felt bad for the survivor of this guy, but you can't keep people captured like that.
I mean, even if maybe you wanted some kind of relationship, you can't. I mean, it's not fair to her. And I get you're lonely, but sorry.
Sorry, dude. You got to be. Again, you can totally tell she's like an alien species, but I guess he's kind of that nutso crazy guy. Then he goes,
she has none of the disease, so he's figuring, she doesn't have any of that. Yeah. So she's not gonna die soon, and.
So yeah,
I think that's pretty much it. But another great episode. I'm looking forward to more.
Yeah, I haven't seen a preview for the next episode. I kind of like not doing that, so I come in completely blind. But
because we had to watch it on Hulu, so we didn't get to see it.
So
the preview episode.
Glad we got a second season coming.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
And it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
And unlike other shows we watch where we're kind of watching like, oh, here we go again. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, just can't say enough. But definitely watch the episode. Tell us what you think.
Yeah.
We love the comments. We had 100 comments on the last video. Let's try to get that again. Yeah. Get a discussion going.
Exactly.
Not as politically charged, so I think the discussion won't be as diverse.
No.
But maybe, the chemical weapons, the whole idea of, you can just go get pregnant. That's like an odd concept, but I guess that's...
Yeah, but again,
it's not too bad.
In the Type 2 civilization, you can do that.
Yeah, because you don't have to worry about, am I going to feed my kids?
Yeah,
it's just replicator.
Exactly.
So, thanks for watching. I've been your host, Crimson Sin.
I'm Mid 15 PCA.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, see you next week. Bye.